Eddie, set the music. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson,
Ed,
and today joining us a very special guest all the way from Albania.
Enea.
All right,
the Albanian machine.
Enea is deep in the sport of Jiu-Jitsu, high-level competitor, all-around nice guy. So tell us what you've been up to in the world of Jiu-Jitsu lately.
What's new?
So, last competition, it was the Worlds, which I didn't end up good because in my second fight, I hurt my hip.
Ooh, okay. Which happens
A
in
common thing
combat
in
sports.
jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Very common thing.
Which I find out I had a tear.
Wow.
And
Fuck.
I finished the fight, actually.
Of course, because you're a man.
That's what you
That's
do.
right. You're like, listen, you got one working arm. That's all right.
All right. The Lord gave me two.
I have another hip.
Tis but a scratch.
So did you get like an MRI? Did they say it was like a labral tear? Okay.
Yeah, a labral
Shit.
tear.
Wow.
I had no clue about the terminology. You know, he
Yeah,
was talking to me and I'm like, is that bad? You know?
Yeah.
of course.
Labral tears are bad.
Yeah.
My brother also does jiu-jitsu. He's a brown belt. He has two labral tears in both his hips. I know not to get an MRI of my hips because I guarantee you I have fucking. I'm like, not doing that. Nope.
So what's the healing time on an injury like that?
I mean, I had like 2-3 weeks that I started again, you know, since November that it was the World Championship.
Sure.
Yeah. I rested. I had to.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a part
Surgery
of
should
it.
always be last option. Like you don't.
Oh,
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not into surgeries.
Yeah, no. I think we've all had some serious injuries. I know I've dislocated my shoulder, fractured my ribs, hurt my ankle.
I think I mean I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what Thiago had. I think
Yes.
he had
Yeah.
a labral tear that was bad, and he ended up getting surgery.
Exactly. And
So-
that's why he was the first person, he sent me a message. He was like, bro, rest.
Right.
Yeah.
Because what he did, he rested for a while and he felt better and he
Right.
started.
Didn't wait long
Training
enough
again.
and tore it more.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what
And
happens
and
with
that's
labrums.
what happens. Yeah. I think with injuries in general, like since we're all fighters, it's like you get it in your head. You're like, I
Yeah.
feel better again. I'm going back to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
certain spots of the body that you don't feel the pain of it. For instance, like your tendons and ligaments. Not until it's past 50% torn do you actually start feeling that something is wrong.
Yeah.
So you can get way into a bad tear before you really know it's there, and then it might start feeling good again at 50%, and then you start going. You take a tear, and now it's a full rip.
Well,
And it goes from like, oh, it hurt, I needed to rest, to now I need surgery.
I think with jiu-jitsu, we just
Now I need to retire.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Certain.
He's like, what are you telling me? I don't want to retire.
I think with jiu-jitsu, you just get so used to being uncomfortable. Like
Right.
you're so used to being
Yes.
sore, you're so used to being in pain that you don't realize before. Like after a while, you're like, oh wait a minute, this is still in pain. Like this should be better by now.
I think that
What's-
goes for sports where anyone's competitive across the board.
Yeah.
If you're very competitive, you're gonna just keep playing anyway. But
Yeah.
sometimes you do need someone to tell you, "Hey, man, sit the fuck down. You got to rest," or it's going to be your last game.
Sure. I agree. So before we get into deep, tell us where people can find you online.
Okay, so my personal page is enea.lapa bjj,
Nice.
and
Your comedy page?
my comedy page that I'm working lately.
There's some
is,
funny shit on there.
Absolutely.
It's bjj.comedy.
What?
I know I've shared a few things of this. There's actually really
absolutely.
funny.
Yeah, I
Really
love to
funny.
see the new stuff coming out. And what about your sponsors?
So my sponsors are Perfect Edge Botanical, Palm Diner, the best food in Boyton Beach,
Try them out.
Amanda James Gallery, which is in Delray.
Nice.
Check it out. And the Juchi company.
Juchi. Yeah, that's a dope name, right? There's like the Juchi. Nah, we Juchi. All right.
Yeah,
No.
it's a cool name for a gi.
It is. I like it.
You
I've
know?
seen some of their gis online actually from your posts, and really nice stuff. So I like it. Yeah.
You thinking about getting a new gi? You know, judo, jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Take a look at it.
Yeah,
Take a look
check
at
it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
And it fits really good.
Tell them Enea sent you.
Yes.
That's right. And then the Sofa Kingdom.
Yeah. But use his name first.
Yeah, but use his
It
name.
has more weight. It has more weight.
Get a discount.
But-
if you don't like it, you use the second one.
Yeah, if you're not happy, Sofa Kingdom.
No. Don't use the Sofa Kingdom.
10%
Use
Sofa Kingdom.
Yeah, you use his name, you get 20% off. You use our names, they add 10%.
Yeah, that's right.
For a bonus 0% off, you can use our name.
Yeah.
yeah.
An
Or
extra
you could just
0%.
follow Eddie's non-existent Instagram account.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead. Try to find it.
People be like, "Hey man, how do I get in touch with the guy with the hat?" And like, he's not on
Can't
Instagram.
find him. You can't find him.
Hey, he got Facebook.
He does. He does.
That ugly ass picture from like 2001.
The lip ring will live forever. The lip ring will live forever.
God damn, man. Take off the fucking Christmas hat. Oh, shit. All right. So we'll jump into the what's new. For me, I'm watching Cobra Kai. I'm into season 4. Really enjoying it. I like what they do with the whole retro throwback. They don't really take themselves too seriously. There's some legit martial arts on there. I mean, no jiu-jitsu, so fuck you guys. But outside of that...
They actually have been getting praise for the karate that there's displaying, and they've gotten away from the shaky cam and the constant breaking of the cameras to try to make it more actiony, sequenced, and whatnot.
No, these kids are very talented. The martial arts displayed is really good, and I like the general take on the show.
As opposed to the first Karate Kid movie.
It's amazing.
Wait a second. What are you trying to say, Ian?
I'm just trying to say, I'm not saying the crane kick has never been used because it has. But,
Who doesn't try that? Who doesn't?
Lyoto Machida has actually made it work. I think he knocked out Randy Couture with a crane kick.
Listen, there's been a couple times I've walked into my house late and my wife has tried to use the crane kick on me.
Is there anything more embarrassing than losing to the crane kick from Karate Kid?
No.
I mean,
and I'll go
as a
How about the
professional
figure
fighter.
4? How about the figure 4 in a UFC ring? Okay,
I did see
That's
someone
pretty bad.
I did see someone do a Boston Crab in an MMA fight
Yes.
before.
Walls
It
of
has
Jericho.
happened. I have
The
seen
walls
that.
of Jericho.
I've seen that too.
If somebody is able to put you in a Boston Crab or the figure 4 in a UFC match, I think you should quit.
There is a level of no ground game that is amazing in like amateur MMA, where moves like that can actually get done on somebody.
I heard Steven Seagal invented the Boston Crab. It's a rumor.
I'm sure he started that rumor because he's Steven Seagal.
Well, yeah, I mean-
he has had his hands in everything. Yeah. He said that he worked with Mark Zuckerberg in college to create Facebook, if you ask him.
Steven Seagal actually invented the CIA.
I mean, he's so special. He's trained with people before they were
actually around.
They were actually born. He was the inventor of the
Chasing
man
their
bun. Did you know
mothers.
that? Chasing their mothers.
That's exactly right.
He's like, it's my sperm that made the Gracies.
yes.
Jesus.
I'm surprised he hasn't taken responsibility for Brazilian
Yeah,
Jiu-Jitsu
exactly.
yet.
So there I was, just sitting in Brazil. And I said to Helio, how about you pull guard? It's an idea.
What is this?
That's an
Pull
idea.
guard. Yeah.
Now, the Karate Kid show was actually originally created by YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who brought it back for that first season before
Correct.
it moved over to...
I wanted to say, I thought it was a YouTube series,
Yeah.
and then next thing you know, it was on Netflix.
Yeah, because YouTube went hard at one point trying to create shows for their platform to get people to buy like their YouTube
TV,
Premium, and that
yeah.
was one of their shows. I think it was really their only show that people like stuck with because it moved over and now they're on to season 4.
Yeah.
But
People like
it's
it.
funny to see that YouTube
Started it.
and it's
It got
become
picked up by Netflix.
every season it's become just progressively more popular.
Has anyone seen the Jiu-Jitsu movie with Nicolas Cage in it? Has anyone seen that?
I started. I never
it was
finished.
bad, huh? He's got a sword. I mean,
Yeah, man,
everybody
come on.
that trains
Oh, yeah.
jiu-jitsu that I know comes
get-
in with their sword.
Yeah, they
I
give you a
sit
sword
next
on
to the
day
bench.
one, right?
It was like the Naga. You know,
I mean, you can't
The Naga sword,
you can't skip sword class for jujitsu.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's clearly
Everyone
every
knows
Sunday.
Day one is,
It's like this is a De La Riva. Okay, and now draw the sword.
Just stab. Leg sweep,
Yeah,
stab.
that's the quickest way out of closed guard. Before you sword, slice the inner thigh.
Yeah. When you close the guard, you pull the hilt and hit him in the head, just like.
Think, think, think.
Think right in the forehead. Think.
All right. So everybody's here seen Cobra Kai or knows about the Karate Kid.
Yes,
Yeah.
we at least have some knowledge of Ralph Macchio
right, so-
and
so then-
his feats.
Enea, if you had to pick one character in the show that you like, who would you say you like the best?
Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny, he's
He
hilarious.
went from the
man.
bad guy to the good guy. And
He's hilarious. When he said, "What's Uber?"
Yeah.
Man, I died. Dude, I was
Well, how about when he brought back the laptop? He's like, this thing isn't working. He's like, did you plug it in? You know it comes with a cord, right?
They really did a lot, especially that first season, to give his backstory and really set him up as like, oh, he wasn't really the villain. He was almost the victim.
Yes.
By the end of
He
the
was.
first season, you're like, oh, poor bastard. He got robbed.
Yeah, he's the good guy.
By some asshole who just rode into town,
Yeah.
stole his girl, and beat him at his own game.
Yeah.
All right, Ian, and you could choose the same person if you like, but who would be your favorite character in this?
If I had to, I mean, I'm not too deep into the show,
Kung
but if I had
Fu
to pick, I would
classic.
go with who's the guy that founded Cobra Kai? Who's the old?
Oh, he comes back at the end of season one.
I love that guy, man. He's like such a
What is
dickhead.
his
Like,
name?
Who, Silver?
Yes.
yeah. He's just telling his students back, sweep the leg. Now sweep the leg.
And he's,
No.
he's still a jerk too. I love it.
Yeah.
Silver is the guy that came back. Not the main sensei.
Yeah, who's the
What's the name of the main?
Who's the main old grumpy looking sensei that
Oh,
founded
man.
Cobra Kai? Like he was the original Karate Kid.
You're talking about
bad guy.
Johnny's sensei.
Johnny's original sensei. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I forget the name. He does a quick 2-second. I'm back.
I'm
at
Googling
the
it
end
right
of the
now.
first season.
I love that guy.
Let's see. John Kreese.
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I
And he
love
plays
him.
like that cool old guy that would fuck you up. Like he's that grandpa that's like, I'm gonna slip you a little bit of drugs while nobody's looking. You know what I mean? Like
It's a shame
Here's a
Mr.
swing of that
Miyagi isn't
beer.
around anymore. You know?
I
It's a
know,
shame. It's a
man.
shame. He was a legend.
Yeah, I do love that meme, like Mr. Miyagi looking down from heaven at everybody wearing the Cobra Kai.
Yes.
gear.
He's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He's like, we were the good guys. What happened?
what happened? What happened here?
Oh man. For me, I like the sleeper guy, the big fat guy.
Penis breath.
No, the other guy that played the security guard in the school. He's like 40 years old, hanging out with the kids from high school. Oh, I'm gonna look it up. I got it. Hold on.
Stingray.
Stingray, yes. He's ridiculous. He's funny. I like his comedy. He actually played
At the fight series. What's the name of that?
I think it was like Fightland or Fight World. One of
Something like that.
like Fighter. I think it was actually
The Fighter or
the
something?
Yeah. He played a psychopath, a little disturbed. In that show, he played it very well. So it's like a completely different role. He goes into comedy where he played like a serious person with issues who winds up killing somebody while inside of a home, like one of those halfway houses, because he was his only friend there, and everybody kept making fun of him. And so he thought his friend was in danger, so he stabbed him. Like he
Yeah.
didn't really
Jesus.
know better. But like it went from that serious role to comedic relief in Cobra Kai, and I was like,
He redeemed himself.
yeah, hilarious. He calls himself the Stingray. He's like 40 years old, hanging out with 15-year-old kids from high school, throwing parties and shit. But he's like, I'm finally cool. You know, like I got my group. I'm in Cobra Kai.
It
I'm
took
finally
25
cool.
year but I made it. I made it.
I made it.
Yeah,
We're in.
and we all know that guy. Like we steer clear of that guy, but we all know that guy.
We know it. We point him out. I see you.
You know, you're in high school and he's like 30, riding over in a bike. Like, hey guys, what are we doing today? Nothing with you. Get the fuck out of here. So Ed, if you had to pick one character,
Oh, I gotta go, Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah, Johnny Lawrence.
Just the redemption for his character and kind of expanding on the backstory of all that. It's great.
Okay, all right, cool. Ed, so then,
Nostalgia.
what's new with you?
All right. So, at the time of filming, we were literally like 2 days after the announcement of Xbox buying Activision Blizzard. It's like the largest all cash tech buyout. 68.7 billion. Absurd amount of money.
Pocket change for Mr. Bezos.
Yeah. What's crazy is
literally.
well, it does. Mr. Bezos does pop up in there, a little bit of Amazon, but it ends up even that only makes Microsoft the third largest gaming by revenue.
Wow.
Because Tencent in China is number one, and Sony is still in second place.
Wow.
So this essentially only bumps Microsoft up one spot, moving
What?
Nintendo down one spot.
What the hell is a Tencent?
Tencent, it's a Chinese gaming company.
Is it mobile games?
A lot of mobile stuff.
That's how they get you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how they get you with their phones.
Those Candy
So-
Crush and
so-
stuff.
Yes.
man.
I know there's some people crying foul and it's too big to be buying that and owning all that, but when you look at the numbers, it doesn't make them number one. It doesn't make them a monopoly because Sony still makes consoles, Nintendo still makes consoles, Steam is now making consoles, so it's not like they're merging all the console companies and things
Nintendo,
like that.
man. Nintendo just watches Sony
Nintendo
and Microsoft
just
fight
does-
each other, and it just goes, "We're Nintendo."
Yeah, they just do their own thing.
We've got Mario, we've got Kirby. We're just gonna
But-
chill.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
don't
You
give a
want
shit.
Zelda? We got Zelda.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't care.
Mega Man.
Yeah, you guys fight amongst yourselves. We're fine. We're fine over
Yeah,
here.
Nintendo's got a very old methodology to the way they do things.
But it's working, right?
Yes.
Be
If
like
they're
Nintendo.
fighting to be the best, we're fighting to be the family console.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
They have
So-
their spot.
Oh yeah,
and,
and
it's
no one's
smart.
touching
Stay
it.
in
No
your
one's
lane.
touching it.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And who
Yeah.
doesn't love Mario Kart? Come on.
Yeah.
Come
Yep.
on.
Yep.
Sure. When I drive, I stay throwing banana peels out, hoping people behind me are going to slip off the road. Hasn't happened yet.
My roommates have a Switch, and I just dry Bowser spikes out, put them straight into the wall. Oh, it's the best. It's the
There's
fucking
something
best.
really fun about it. Yeah,
Oh,
you know.
absolutely.
Yeah, so it's interesting because when they first bought ZeniMax and Bethesda and all that, everyone was looking at it. Oh, they're going after Sony. But actually, at the beginning of the console generation, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, their head of the gaming, had said that Sony's not our competition. Nintendo's not our competition. What he was looking at was Google, Facebook. He was looking at Amazon,
Tech giants.
other
Right.
tech giants that were just trying to expand what they had in the realms of anything technology. So a lot of what he's looking at is what they're trying to do, especially with like the metaverse and in gaming and the way they're looking at their approach. And he's like, this is what they're looking to do is going to ruin the gaming industry.
Kind of hard to
Right.
beat Amazon right now. I mean, Jeff Bezos is like the Lord Voldemort of like the tech
I mean,
world, you know?
they
He even looks the
and-
part.
Yeah.
Right?
He's looking
Lord
like Lex
Voldemort
Luthor.
with Pitbull together.
But they all got
He's going to fucking space. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
come
yeah.
on,
Oh,
man.
well, not space, but
But
space adjacent.
space,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Next
Yeah.
to space.
almost space.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
According to Elon Musk, it's not space.
Yeah.
It's like
But I got to give him brownie points for taking what's his name from Star Trek with
Oh
him?
yeah, William Shatner.
William Shatner. I mean, that was kind of cool. Like anybody that takes William Shatner with them to space, I was like, all right, that's
that
you
wins.
get brownie
You win.
points for that. But that's it.
Because
That's where I cut 'em off.
Amazon's got a gaming division, Google's got a gaming division, Facebook has Oculus. So they all do legitimately have gaming divisions with developers, and they are making games, and they've all been trash, essentially.
wow.
Yeah, I mean Sony, PlayStation. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Come
I
on,
know you love
guys.
Sony.
Guys,
But this is the
I'm
first.
hanging on. Sony's got something coming down the pipe. Trust me.
Maybe.
Stay tuned.
Maybe. Sony is literally hoping that Microsoft doesn't take all their games
Sure.
and just drag them to their console only. Because you spend, $68 billion to put your games on your competitor's console.
Good move. all right. So
But it's a legitimate shot across the bow against Facebook and Google, who are trying to get into gaming just by forcing their way into gaming.
it's smart. They see the bigger picture.
They're looking,
And they're going
yeah,
after
they're
it.
looking 10, 20, 30 years down the line at where gaming's going to be versus like Nintendo, who's not really looking that far ahead, and Sony, who also, they're still playing their game of not really, they're looking at their next console. Xbox is legitimately looking like 2 consoles, 3 consoles. When
Right.
consoles are no longer even a thing, it's built into the TV. They're looking at where gaming is going to be after consoles.
I just want PlayStation to come out with something I can fucking play. It's
Not happening, bro. It's not happening. All right. So
Because I still don't even have a reason to buy a PS5. I don't even have there's nothing, what am I going to play?
there's no games, literally, because Microsoft is putting everything out. So that's what's happening.
Really?
Like with the console
There's no
wars.
reason to even buy a PS5.
Yeah.
Because I know you're all sports. So like video games for us lazy
Yeah.
people, right? You've got Xbox and PlayStation, and they've been fighting it out. But Xbox has just been like stepping all over PlayStation's neck.
Yeah, this
Actual games.
recently.
this
Me
generation.
being a PlayStation fan, I gotta sit with these two fuckers. And just,
I mean,
shit on me all the time.
like I had sent you guys a message when the buyout was mentioned, because originally
I know,
it was
I fell
like
asleep when
they
I was reading it.
they spent like seven they spent
Wake
like
up! Wake up! They bought it.
hey,
because they had bought they had bought ZeniMax. They spent like 7 or 8 billion, which is
Skinamax.
an absurd amount of money.
Oh, ZeniMax.
ZeniMax.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
like, man,
I'm sorry.
that's
My bad. I'm
Microsoft
sorry.
just
Sorry.
dropping their fat wallet on Sony's desk and saying, look at what we're doing.
Sure.
And then they just spent 68 billion. They looked in Sony's eyes and shit on their desk and said, what are you doing, Sony? Can you see what we're doing? It's for you. And then walked out. Like, come on, Sony, you got to keep up.
But I'm feeling that Sony is staring at the pile of shit and they're just biding their time.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're biding their time till everything's bought out, and then they're gonna be like, well, closing our doors.
They're gonna be how much money we have.
Yeah. What do we got left?
Wait.
No, it's gonna be like,
Yeah, exactly.
Spider-Man, you're all we have left. Let's put out 3 different Spider-Man movies. One with Tobey Maguire, one with Andrew Garfield.
No, I'll tell you what. I'm
Sony,
not
a
getting
Spider-Man company.
I'm not getting scared. I'm not getting scared
Yeah.
until Microsoft buys Square Enix. When they do that, I'm out.
It's
I'm out.
next on the
It's
chopping
a
block,
lot. A
man.
lot of these companies with COVID, they're going down hard. A lot of them are on the chopping block. A lot of them are plausibly companies to get purchased, because Activision Blizzard was not a company that people thought was even purchasable until everything started happening with COVID, and then everything started happening with their CEO and all the issues they've been having with the corporate culture and all that. And a lot of companies are following. I mean, look at what happened with Cyberpunk. They're going down hard. Their stock dropped hard in the wake of Cyberpunk. They are legitimately also a company that could get bought out.
Yeah, now would be a good time to buy some stock in CG Product Red.
Yeah.
I don't buy stock. So,
I mean,
switching gears, because Eddie will talk about this shit
Yo, Sony's-
the rest of the fucking
Sony's
night. No, man.
stock
No, we need to stop talking about
dropped.
tech.
It dropped hard when that announcement came out.
Holy shit. NyQuil. All right. So, I'm just kidding. No, it's really
I
interesting.
think NyQuil's going strong with COVID. I mean,
Yeah, people need NyQuil.
a lot of people are
My
trying to
stocks.
sleep, and they got
Hell, bro.
they got
Ian,
those
help
pills.
me.
They really do help you
I
sleep.
can't help
Go
it.
over there, choking myself. You know what? You were talking about a reverse triangle. If you can demonstrate it on Edward right now, that would be fantastic.
You gotta get in the side control.
Yeah.
And that's the shitty part of the reverse triangle.
Ooh, all right, go into it. Let's hear it.
All right.
All right, let's talk about
So
it.
let's go back.
Bringing it back into the realm of reality. No
Back to
more
jiu-jitsu.
CGI. Jiu-jitsu.
So lately, I wasn't trying anything new. So what I was doing, my old tricks, everybody in the gym
Starts
at
to
the
be aware of
academy,
it.
they know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they were passing my guard.
Right.
And I'm like, what I'm going to do from here?
Right. Yeah.
And one beautiful day, I saw Braulio Estima showing a reverse triangle. And he was saying, my fellow jiu-jitsu guys,
Yeah.
don't panic. you are in side control, relax, get the arm, lock it, push the head, and get the reverse triangle.
Nice.
And I tried it.
And it worked.
Worked
It
out well.
worked.
That's a great feeling when you could watch a video and then you go back to the gym and you be like, all right, because sometimes you know it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you see a move, you're like, that shit looks like John Wick would pull it off. And then you try to do it in the gym and you're just like,
Yeah.
So when you see a legitimate move that works out,
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the old man Kimura. Like when you're in side control and you have the Kimura locked out, and it's like you're trying to get leverage and get high enough that you can crank the arm. But then if you just feed this arm through,
Yeah.
and just kind of hug your
you
arms,
wrap around,
it's so
figure
much less
four.
range. I'm like,
Yeah.
why wasn't I
You just
doing
lift
this
your
the whole
elbow.
time? Yeah. Why wasn't I doing this whole time? You know, it saves so much time.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't know.
but that's it. That's jiu-jitsu, right? It's
I
adapting
only
and
know
learning
one
things.
move. The Kimura.
king
that's
of
all.
the Kimura.
That's all I know. Like,
He walks in the gym and he's just like, Kimura for you, Kimura for you. He's like Babe Ruth, you know, looking
but
for
as soon as you
home
defend,
run.
as soon as you defend my Kimura, you submit me. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
That's the thing. Everybody has like one favorite.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
Oh,
like
like-
that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
go-to.
Mine's is the loop choke. Love me some loop chokes.
You're gonna see loop chokes everywhere. I see triangles everywhere.
Yes,
you know?
right.
Well, that's fun. I'm glad he sees the loop choke because I fucking didn't see it. The first time I roll in like months, and like I was like, all right, Nelson, let's go. And like literally, he set it up, and I didn't even feel it. I literally thought I was passing his guard. I was like, okay, I'm past. Like we're good. And I was like, something doesn't feel right. Like something was wrong, but I knew I was in side control. I was like, I'm fine. His hand was so sneakily up there with the choke. Next thing you know, I'm sitting on the floor and I'm looking at Nelson. And he's just staring at me. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I went out. I was like,
Yep,
he killed me.
this is me.
He fucking killed me. Like in real life, he killed me. Like that was it. Like.
But bro, like a good friend, I try to keep it discreet. I didn't say nothing. I looked over him. He's like, "Am I? We're good. Don't worry about it." I didn't say nothing. You know, I was
I
like,
had time traveled. I was so mad. I was like, "What the fuck just happened to me?" Like, I was
what's
inside
the
control.
day-to-day?
I literally thought I was like, "Okay, wait, no, I passed. I'm inside. I'm pressuring him. Time travel."
but look,
Yeah,
but
that's
look,
the
time
worst
travel.
thing.
But to be fair, there has been 1,000 times where I'm training with Ian and I'm trying something new or trying an old classic that I love, and this fucking Kimura comes out of nowhere, and now I'm just spending 20 minutes like, come on, man, let my arm go, give it back, and then you get tapped out, So
But yeah, that his loop choke is definitely very sneaky, and it was I'd never even seen a variation of it. It was weird the way he set it up.
I haven't rolled with you for a long time.
I know, man. We all got to get some geese
One of
on
these
and
days,
do a nice
yeah.
training session. It would be
That
dope.
was it was so damn sneaky.
Some of
It was
the
a
things-
secret weapon. I was like, what the hell?
Some
He
of
let
the-
me believe I was winning, and then he put me
Past
out.
myself.
Yeah.
He wasn't even resisting me. I was like, why? I was like, why am I? I was like, no, but I was like, it was a lingering feeling that something was wrong. I was like, something's not right though. Like, and then I was dead. And then the next thing you know, I'm sitting on the floor.
I was dead.
And that was it. And it doesn't matter how you do after that because you died.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
died.
You died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, he let,
In real life-
every breath I take from here on out, he is given to me. It's a gift.
Second chance.
Even now,
Gracious,
this day is a gift that Nelson has given me because I would have died right there.
Like Chris to Silver.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
in Vietnam. He
That's
saved
right.
him.
Yeah, he keeps telling him. He's like, I saved your life.
Yeah.
You owe me. He's like, how many times are you going to hold that over me, man? Like, damn.
Let's roll again.
Yes, it's a gift.
So you've been liking the reverse triangle.
Yeah.
Like the triangle.
Yeah.
So you definitely, I know when us as players of jiu-jitsu, when you find your move, you see options and different variations of that move that you like and different ways to get into those moves. And it helps increase your game. And then sometimes those weeks or those transitions where like people figure out your game and then they start smashing you.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, Eddie, what is your move? I don't even know.
Head and arm choke.
Head and arm choke. Yes.
Okay.
That and the far side head and arm choke. I get those also.
Head and arm choke.
I love them. It's slightly different because instead of me getting your arm trapped up here, I'm getting your far side arm trapped across your chest.
Yeah.
So basically, anything where you're mushing a dude into the earth.
Yeah, I got
Just
slightly
grinding him in the
I got
dust.
slightly long arms for my frame, so I get away with it from positions other people can't. So it ends up being a little bit sneaky, you know, when I can get it when like from in someone's guard or even when they're in my guard, I could get the head and
You don't
arm
go
choke.
for you don't go for arm triangles from bottom guard, do you? I hate that guy.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, from if you're in my
He goes for
guard.
it and then he starts extending his legs. I'm like, he's arm triangle me from the bottom. I get all mad. I'm like, come on,
If you're in my guard, in my half guard, or even if I'm in your guard, I have a head and arm
Well,
choke.
the only thing worse than that.
Even in my guard.
Yes.
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 Yeah, it's a sneaky
It's,
fucking
it's
there's
thing, man.
nothing more satisfying than getting someone to tap when you're in their guard. You're like, but you have position, and I'm still gonna fucking choke you.
Yeah, so what I do in these situations, I open my guard. I let you pass at least, you know, like
Right,
Try to
because
try
it's
to
like
yeah,
a double.
yeah, exactly.
The problem is once I have it locked in, because my arms are long enough that I don't have to go palm to palm. I could bring it all the way across to here. So if you open your guard, I'm crossing to the side, and now I'm fully locked into the head and arm triangle.
right.
So it's a little tricky for people to get out of it at that
It's
point.
these things that we all develop our own personal game based on style, speed, strength, your body.
Yeah,
frame.
that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
I like-
It's his
Yeah,
arm
like
thing.
I wouldn't suggest it for other people.
Well, it's like something we all know about. Red's
yeah.
legs.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like it's
What
a
the hell is that about?
it's a
His body triangles are fucking vicious.
Yeah.
Red has made me contemplate tapping from a body triangle while I'm just chilling in his guard. Because he's like, I'm like, I can't fucking breathe. Like, I'm sitting here trying to like act like I'm playing the game where I'm fighting for grips. I can't get air right now. I can't breathe. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to just be like, all right, can we restart? Like,
Body
man.
triangle you with his knee, you know.
That's the thing. Though. If you
Yeah.
get past his legs, you're in business. Because then you can start fighting, and he kind of like his game changes a little.
Yeah.
But when you're there, if he can even get his feet on your hips,
Yeah.
you're in danger. His legs are 6 feet long.
And he's
You're like,
so strong.
Yeah,
Man.
Yes.
yeah, he is.
He's so strong.
God,
So those are your favorite submissions. What about your takedown? What's your favorite takedown? We'll start with you, Enea.
Pull guard.
Ooh, God.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
You're not butt
Lately-
scooter,
Butt
right?
scooter?
You're not butt
No, no, no.
All right, all right.
butt scratcher.
No, so what I'm doing lately, I'm trying double leg a lot.
Right.
You know, I got it like a couple times, you know, at the academy, and I'm trying, you know, to develop it, you know, for competitions because that's my concern. Because I play a lot of guard,
Right.
Right.
but to get, you know, to develop my game, I need to start, you know, like looking from different angles, you know.
Working on the areas that aren't as
Yeah.
rounded, yes.
Yeah. And the takedown to get into the positions that you want, that is a tricky thing, right? Because when we started doing more and more takedown as we're progressing with the belt levels, you find you're like, oh, that's a good takedown, that's a good takedown, but it doesn't necessarily get me where I'd like to be.
Yes.
You could even set up, like if you like to pull guard, you could even set up a double leg and then like go for it, but not fully commit to it and transition into your guard.
Yeah.
So you could set it up. You could play that way.
Yeah, that's really nice. What about you? What's your favorite takedown?
Me personally, I like body throws. I like anything where I can get in close. Like
He's like
lock in
strong
tight,
man.
and
He's
then
like
try to,
Absolutely.
Just
Try to
go
elevate.
grab somebody and throw him 30 feet in the air.
It's fun to make another grown man feel like a child when you got both hands on their waist. You just pick them up and start putting them down real
I like to
gentle.
clinch. I like to clinch. I like to clinch.
Is that why you
wrestle,
laugh every time you do that to
And
me?
then
Oh, yeah,
put
it's
some on the
hilarious.
side, body lock, and then left.
Like-
That's my. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
It's, any kind of throw, like very like I like to get to the side position and kind of like forearm to ribs.
Yeah.
Pull in tight and then elevate. Go for like a suplex
Nice.
style. Yeah.
I've been going for leg sweeps a lot lately. I've been pretty
Nice.
successful with them in the gym. I like the setups, the pulling, the pushing. For my body frame and a little bit of my speed, it's sneaky. I did learn the hard way not to commit so much as kicking because like I'll go home, like I'm walking to the car with my brother and I'm like, yeah, I got 3 leg sweeps today, good takedown, solid, and I'm limping to the car. I'm like,
It doesn't
like,
matter.
shit,
It
that
doesn't
hurts,
matter.
bro. Right, yeah.
Like you just left Muay Thai practice. Yeah.
Yeah, the instep of your foot is not intended for direct damage.
And it's
Okay,
funny
no.
because like Abner, like he's one of the black belts at the gym. He's great teacher and a person in general. Like I went for like a leg sweep and he seen me kick really hard and he to the side he goes, that hurt, huh? You know, he's like, you had some success with that leg sweep. I see you going for it, but you're really throwing your leg in there. Like that hurt, huh?
You
I'm like,
commit.
"Shit."
You commit a lot for that.
Yeah.
So then I've been doing it differently. Professor Fernando Rodriguez has showed me other ways where it's not so much as me committing sweeping my leg as more as it is pushing somebody into my leg and using it
It's
to
technique,
leverage them
technique
down.
and timing, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
guys that are good at that, at just kicking the foot when you go to step, it's like tricky because
Yeah.
like they'll pull as soon as they kick the foot. Next thing you know, you don't even realize that you're on your back.
Yeah.
There's guys that are really really good with it.
And that's what I really like about it is that where it lands them on the floor, because I like to fight from half guard. That's my money. I like Americanas, Kimuras from there. I like fighting. So when I throw them there, it gives me more of an opportunity to scramble into that kind of a position that I like to go for. Ed, what about you?
I go for more wrestling style takedowns. I find a lot of people in jiu-jitsu do the bad judo where they get their grip and then they got their hips like 10 feet away from each other.
Right.
Nobody wants to get close.
Yeah.
I do the opposite. I'm like, no, you're coming all the way in here. I'm going to be right on fucking top of you, and I'm going to make you uncomfortable until you make a mistake. And then I'm just driving you into the ground.
Yeah. That's a nice way to do it.
I find that most people just, they're so uncomfortable in that position, it allows you to really get successful pretty quickly. Because once you get used to throws from an underhook or overhook with whichever arm you want to pick as kind of your lead.
Right.
Once you have one from either, you're generally set up. As long as you get that arm in and close enough, you have your takedown from there. It's just patience and timing.
I always thought it was interesting when judo changed their rules. I forget how many years ago it was, but they outlawed leg attacks.
Really?
Because they were having an issue with high-level wrestlers entering judo competitions and winning. So they made it illegal to attack.
Yeah, so no
anything below the
singles,
waist.
no doubles.
Wait, so
yeah.
like,
No
but
single
you can
leg.
still attack the leg with a leg.
Yes.
You could do a sweep with your foot.
Okay.
But you could not shoot for a leg, and you couldn't change levels and go for a takedown like
Yeah.
that.
Interesting.
Because
So
they were having too many issues with a D1 wrestler just going into a judo tournament and fucking winning.
Instead of
And
evolving,
he didn't use any judo.
Right. That's what I
instead of
was-
evolving the sport, they're like, nah, man, that's illegal.
Right.
Right.
That gives you a chance to say, okay, here's a hole in our martial art. Let's try to adapt and
No,
figure it
it's much
out.
easier to change the rule set.
I think
That's jiu-jitsu, actually. You
And
know,
Jiu-
like
jiu-jitsu really
including jiu-jitsu.
lends itself to that because when you go back to the origins, especially Brazilian jiu-jitsu, when it branched off from Japan, your size played a lot of part of it, and it wasn't until Helio, a smaller, sickly man, had to modify it to make
yeah.
it work, that it actually started becoming useful for anyone who could pay attention to the technique.
Well, jiu-jitsu, it kind of stemmed off judo. Like, judo is the godfather of the sport. So,
and
I think I know what Enea is saying. Like with jiu-jitsu, like IBJJF, the rules are safer for the competitor.
Right.
But when you outlaw like slams and stuff like that,
it makes it less realistic.
it makes it
take
what-
tools away.
You need to understand that there's another level out there. Like if you get in a real altercation, the guy's not going to be abiding by IBJJF rules.
Sure. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
might slam you. And it's a little bit more difficult to do that on pavement than it is.
Well, that's
mat,
not necessarily
you know?
true because I carry a contract with me, and I'm like, hey, before we fight, I'm gonna need you to adhere to these rules real quick.
You're not going to be
check
able
out
to. You're not going
page
to reap.
3.
You're not going to heel hook. You're not gonna outside or inside.
I'm like, is that a weapon?
Yeah.
No, clearly right here.
And no strikes of
Page
any
4.
kind. Not open hand
Yeah.
or closed
No.
fisted, yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Like, I forget what they call, like combat jujitsu.
Yeah.
Oh, or you're allowed to slap open
Yeah,
hand
because
strikes.
they
Yeah.
actually train that in the military now. So when I was in the military, they did more hand-to-hand combat, but it was more geared towards like trying to teach you to like break a knee or break a finger.
End it quick.
Like end it very fast. Now they're teaching jujitsu as a part of the curriculum for hand-to-hand combat.
Which is a good thing. It's
Yeah.
effective.
But
so.
it's
but
going.
they're doing combat jujitsu.
It's going back to more of the original jujitsu, which was intended for actual practical self-defense. And what it does tend to do is remove positions that in a real fight don't make sense.
Right.
You can't invert in a real fight.
No.
Someone's just gonna step on your fucking head. you know, it doesn't work.
They're gonna
It
kick
doesn't
you on
work.
the head. Like,
You know, like, let me go around
invert
this way.
underneath, yeah.
No, I'm just gonna step on your fucking face. Even if I fall when I step on your face, me stepping on your face, I feel like I'm winning.
you're not gonna play Spider Guard. They're gonna
No.
kick you right on the nuts.
Yeah,
But-
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
you're
that's
right.
messed up, man. Spider-Man right there.
Sorry,
He
bro.
took offense.
Sorry, bro.
I think it's coming around full circle now.
Right.
Because the first major evolution of jiu-jitsu was someone having to modify it. So that's kind of in the blood of jiu-jitsu, is taking it and modifying it. Because then you had kind of the next wave where you had Jean-Jacques Machado,
Yeah.
who didn't have a functioning second hand.
Right.
He had to modify it to make it work. So he started using a lot of underhooks and overhooks. Eddie Bravo took that
Yeah, you were.
and then
as soon
moved
as you,
it.
As soon as you said modifications, I thought of Eddie Bravo.
Yeah.
I was like, that dude.
He
friggin-
took that idea and moved it into no-gi. We're like, you know what? This works. You're not going to have those grips necessarily in real life, but you have underhooks, you have overhooks, you have ways of manipulating the body.
If you can't put both feet behind your head, I don't even know how the hell you do Eddie Bravo's jiu-jitsu. I don't know how you do it. Like, some of those positions, like the sorcerer and the necro,
Oh, they're-
you can't even pull them off.
They're
Yeah.
fantastic. Look at but that
Double arm bars from guard while
But-
you're choking him with your shins. I'm like, what the
yeah.
fuck is
But that's
this?
just
They
the
are some
one.
pretty ridiculously
Yeah.
dope moves.
It works.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Eddie Bravo.
They look fantastic, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that-
imply them, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I
You
don't
have to
know.
It hurts
be
yourself.
like a
You're like,
master
yeah.
at it, and like the other person has to be docile.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
just
take
the
it.
one.
Give me your arm.
Give me this.
That is kind of just the one avenue, the rubber
Sure.
guard, because that's not all he does. Is just the rubber guard.
yeah.
Hubbard guard.
But he's kind of. I think he was kind of the first person where
Donkey
your
guard.
lineage didn't necessarily need to go back to a Gracie to become legitimate, and we're
Sure.
seeing that now with like John Danaher.
Yeah.
Where like even though you can take them
That
and go
man's- that
back
man's a
to
genius.
you could go back to a Gracie, you're getting people who they're taking it and modifying it in a way that makes it more applicable.
But it's a good
nowadays,
thing, right?
Yes,
I think it's a good thing, and I think that's where like you train at Excel. We train with Rodriguez Jiu Jitsu. Like there
Both
are
originally stemmed off Gracie.
Yes.
absolutely.
Whereas who was
I know where you're going.
Villardo with.
Villardo.
Hoyler, right?
Hoyler. Yes.
Hoyler.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think
What's a more regimented?
George Santiago, he was Carlson?
Carson, yeah.
Carlson.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 And
Brazilian,
it's,
Brazilian top team.
it's probably going to be
Yeah.
a while before you get away from that, because your stamp of your legitimacy was going back to
Sure.
as closely to Helio.
But what?
You know, it was going back to the main
Sure.
Gracie lineage, and it's only now that we're getting enough eyes and new thoughts behind it that there's different methodologies of approach.
No, but what I was saying too is like with our academies that we train at, they prefer you train all around, train with other people, train
Yes.
with other academies, train with other teachers. This is your home. This is where you should be, and you bring your knowledge back. But that level of competence, I think, it's like, go here, learn some new stuff, but come back, bring it here. This is your home base. Teach other people what you're learning.
Yeah.
And so your game improves.
It's about
your
growth.
style improves.
Yeah.
And you're not stagnant. And that's where I was going to ask you, like, Enea, as a serious competitor, what's the difference between, like, training at the gym, which is fantastic, you learn a lot, you get great exercise, you learn real skill sets, and then that next level when you are competing at competitions? Like, what do you think the biggest differences in learning are when you're competing versus training at the gym?
So when you train at the gym, you are sharpening your tools. For example, the A game that you have. As I told you before, like in the academy, pretty much everybody knows your game.
Right.
But at the same time, you're trying to find other ways around to do the same thing.
Right.
And the competition is the place that you're testing those techniques.
Right.
Those
Right.
bypasses that you're trying to do.
Right.
And if it works, it's all good. If it doesn't work, it's all good again, but you're going back to the academy and find another way.
Sure. So that's a good place that that's a good distinguishing difference. You're sharpening your tools, you're working on your techniques, and now you're applying them.
Yeah.
When you're at those competitions, and you've competed yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. I always have respect for the guys that like have really simple games, and even their competitors, they're so established, they know what they're gonna do, but you just
They
can't
do
stop
it
Can't stop it.
anyway.
Somebody like a Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
like he's in MMA.
I'm gonna smash you.
You're allowed to, exactly. You're allowed to strike. You're allowed to strike. You're allowed to do anything you want to stop this guy from doing what he's going to do to you. You know what his plan is. He's going to come in. He's going to try to close distance. He's going to wrestle you, and then he's going to hold you down.
If you don't send location,
Right.
how are you gonna find you?
So you know what he's bringing to the table. You know theoretically how you should build your entire camp to stop him. You should work on wrestling defense for 3 months, the whole way up into the fight.
Yep.
They still lose. They still get wrestle fucked into the earth, and then they lose the fight.
Yeah, I've been in a
Unbelievable.
competition
Like-
once, and the guy I lost in the final, and the guy he celebrates so much, and he was like, "Bro, I was studying you," and like, "Thank you," and that's the thing, like.
You're flattered
It's-
almost.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like,
I was
send you a
studying.
postcard.
I was studying.
That was the thing, Sometimes it's a good and a bad at the same time, like because you're being predictable,
Right.
and that's the thing that you lose because your opponent he's gonna find your weaknesses, But at the same time, you're strengthening your game, your A game,
Sure.
you know. And it's like, as you said, I'm gonna tell him like, okay, I'm gonna get there, and he's like, okay, and you getting there,
Right? Yeah. There's nothing like when you train with like a really high level black belt, and like you guys were just discussing, like, and they're rolling with you, and you can see the end game coming, like, and you're like, I'm gonna go to my plan A, and I'm gonna go to my plan B, I'm gonna go to my plan C, and it's still coming like slow motion. You're like, no, the darkness.
I always love when you're rolling with someone that's that higher above you, and like you know when they could have just did you in right there.
Yeah.
Like I rolled with Professor Santiago a few times, and he'd spin around, he'd lock my arm up, and he would like just do a little pressure, and then he would stop and just transition to side control. And I'm like, right there, in that moment, he could have blown my arm into 100 fucking pieces.
Yeah.
Like my bones would be sticking through my skin. I'd be just laying here. Yeah. But instead, he decided, okay, let's keep playing. And I'm like, man, like, but I felt it in that moment. I felt my soul. I was like, that was it. He just took it. Right there it was.
But that's the difference between an experienced jiu-jitsu player and a white belt, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're training with a new white belt and you're trying to give them some things like, hey,
they scratch you in the face.
Yeah. They take their elbow and they square in the eye. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. So you see him in the corner before class. What are you doing? Oh, dipping my fingernails and shit. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you know, I got to use everything I can.
That's right.
Everything I can. You know. Hopefully, you get a fever halfway through the match.
I might lose today, but I'm gonna win in 3 days.
Yeah. You won't be in class tomorrow.
They hurt you and they think they won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You out.
I distinctly remember when Adam started and he was a white belt and he was rolling with me and he was going for a legit neck crank. Like he had his hand behind my neck like this and he had his other hand on my forehead and he was just snapping my spine over his forearm. And he's such a good wrestler. I'm like trying to get him off and I couldn't. And I looked up and I could see the clock was 25 seconds. And I was like, well, it's just so much pain, and I wanted to tap it. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna die. I've already laid there. I was like, I'm gonna have him stare at my corpse and then think about what he's done.
You live on the edge, bro.
I was like, dude, I literally was like the next day, like my ex was like looking at me. I was laying in bed. I was like fucking crying. I couldn't move. Like my neck was destroyed. I was just like it was horrible.
Oh, bro, I had that happen to me with a body triangle. The pain's excruciating. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, 20 seconds. I can hang in there. I regretted that for the next 2 weeks. I had like a low seat in my Mustang. Every time I would get in my car, I feel like my ribs would just like shit. I'm like,
well, I thought to myself, I was like, this is a neck crank. This is something you wouldn't do to your friend. I was like, he's legitimately trying to kill me right now. He's trying to sever my spine.
And you didn't want to tell him like, hey, that's a neck crank. You know?
I didn't. Well, I couldn't talk. I was like, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna die. I just put my hand. I was like, I'm gonna die. I've accepted this. This is
like when Margot goes for a wrist lock and she's being a jerk. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you know who you are, Margot.
Yeah, Margot. We have her.
Like,
she's brutal as shit.
Wrist lock central. She goes to shake your hand, wrist lock. Like,
I love wrist locks.
Yeah.
You can have her back. You can have her back, hooks in, ready to go for a choke, and she still will try to wrist lock. You're just merciless to the end. You're like, what are you doing?
You're enjoying them?
Justin does that.
Oh, the wrist lock? Yeah.
The purple belt Justin.
Really?
You can have him. He gives his back. And I'm like, okay, cool, boom. And he got long arms. And he just isolate your arm. And he's like,
Like,
what a nice guy.
What a jerk.
What a nice guy.
No, he is a nice guy, but that's a dick move.
Nelson
love wrist
is
locks.
also Nelson is also a renowned wrist locker, but he does it after like he'll say like he'll do it like after the hand clap. Like he'll be like, all right, go, and like you just slapped his hand. You're looking at him like you're looking at him in disbelief.
I'm not looking to go for a full wrist lock. Just let you know, like, I could.
But he won't make eye contact with you.
have a
He's just
second
like,
chance.
he's staring at your wrist that he's trying to break, and you're just looking at him with tears in your eyes, like we were friends.
We were friends, and
We
then
were
we clapped
friends.
hands.
Okay.
That's nothing personal.
That's right, yeah.
Of course not.
This is
Of course
business.
not.
This is business.
No. But yeah, jiu-jitsu does evolve a lot. It's amazing to see like how people's guards change. I mean, since we've been following it, we've seen it change. I mean, I know Keenan Cornelius always comes up with weird stuff. Like you see worm guard and maggot guard. There's so many different variations of stuff that people have been using. And that's why I have respect for people, like I said, like Khabib or in the world of jiu-jitsu, like Roger Gracie. Like he's like, I know an armbar, I know a rear naked choke. That's what I do.
That's it.
He has
All I
a
need.
very, very basic game, but it's
Perfected.
It's perfected to the point where it's like, it doesn't matter. He's going to get that move.
Right.
As soon as you make a mistake, you're gonna feel it.
Right, and it's like Kron Gracie, guillotine, rear naked choke. That's you know what he's gonna do, but he's worked it so many times. That's it. Or Marcelo Garcia, he's gonna go for a guillotine. He's gonna transition a mount, finish you with a guillotine while he's mounting you. That's it. And you're not gonna do nothing. That's how you're gonna end this day.
Fuck yeah. All right, so let me ask you, Enea. You've been doing some BJJ comedy, right? And we see the skits. What inspires you to come up with some of these skits, or is this like happening to you at the gym and you're like, that would be funny?
Yeah, every single video that I do, it's pretty much based on reality.
Right.
Like in competitions, in the academy. Like things that I see. Like what's going on in the jiu-jitsu community.
Sure.
But especially this is how I started actually for the competition, because that period I was like so into competitions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta do something.
Sure. And it's good to laugh at those things, laugh at yourself, laugh with other people, because it brings a different light to it. Because even though you're laughing at it, you're like, you did that.
Yeah, it's like, and always it's directed to someone that you know.
Yeah, and
always
they know.
Yeah, and they know.
Oh, dude, I always feel attacked every time. I watch a video and I'm like, oh, he's definitely talking about me. Because I definitely said that shit. It's like the competition. It's like the one you said. It's like I was winning to the very end, and then he won on points. And I was like, I've told that story. I've told that story.
Yeah,
I was like, I've said that exact words before.
the things that I told at that video, because actually I watched it like a day ago. Yesterday, actually, I saw it, and I remember I hear these stories.
Yes.
I hear that at the World Championship, every single person told me those things. And I was like, you win or you learn. They stole my fight. Okay, they stole your fight.
And the best is when you're trying to explain jiu-jitsu. The one you did, you said you're trying to explain jiu-jitsu to a new guy. You're like, come here, get in my guard.
Yeah.
No, come here.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I don't want that. Yeah.
Nobody wants to learn.
Imagine tapping in somebody's guard. Remember who we're talking about?
Oh, fuck yeah.
We brought this guy to the gym.
This fucking guy.
We won't say his name.
We're not going to
But
say
he's
your
like,
name.
I'm going to be a Navy SEAL, right?
This guy was he's the next American
And he's a
hero.
big guy. And
Fucking
he gets
tapped
pulled
in my
into
guard.
his guard and he
Tapped in
taps,
my guard.
right?
He was so goddamn tired. I swear to God, I wasn't doing anything.
It
I wasn't even squeezing. In fact, I don't even think I had closed guard.
Yeah.
I had my fucking feet on his hips, and I had control of his gi wrist, and he's moving a lot and trying to move me around, and all of a sudden he was like,
Tap.
he's like, I'm tired. I was
Like, bro, that's not even a submission.
Bro, you are dead. In real life, you're dead.
I was sitting there thinking, like, they're gonna throw this motherfucker in a pool and he's gonna survive. I was like, no.
You gotta tie his hands and tell him to swim.
Yeah.
He was going for in real life.
He thought about it. He thought about it.
It's not happening.
In his head, he was Rambo, but in
no,
real
but
life, he was, he was a Teletubby.
and Barbie. Teletubby.
It wasn't happening, man. It wasn't happening. I was like, I never had that happen before.
No, that's funny.
I roll with a lot of big, out of shape people.
Yep.
I have never had anyone just tap in my guard.
I've only
from
had it
fear
happen.
of whatever.
I've only had it happen once, and it was actually from. They were on their side, and I was halfway to technical mount on their back. So this was I do MMA, blah blah blah, and he's running his mouth. This is his first time in the gi class. So when the round first started, I introduced he's no, I've never. He says he does nothing. We start going. He immediately, grabs my ankle and starts going for it. I'm like, okay, I see what we're doing. You've never done this before. Right. So I went hard on the pressure on this man. And I was going for my bow and arrow choke. So I still had mush at him, and he just tapped and he left. And he fucking never came back. But I wanted to choke the shit out of you. You said you never did this.
Right.
You grabbed my ankle. You immediately went for an ankle lock. No, you've done this.
Yeah.
So what have you done though? Because that was an ankle lock. Oh well, I've done some no-gi, and I've done some of this, and I've done some of that. Oh, okay. So you have.
Yeah.
So when I asked what have you done before, and you said nothing.
It wasn't nothing.
It was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
So
Unless
now
the school you went to was nothing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So now I'm not going to treat you like a know-nothing white belt. I'm going to treat you like somebody who supposedly does MMA and has done this and this and this. And when I did that, they literally, he was on the side, the arms mushed like this. I had my back on him. I was reaching around to get the collar for the bow and arrow, and taps.
White belts are some of the
Picks
most,
up his shit, leaves, and never came back.
White belts are some of the most dangerous people that come in though, because you
Right.
don't know what you're getting. You have
Yeah.
no fucking idea. Like when the guy comes in for the first day of class, you're judging everything on him.
Yeah.
You're looking at his ears. You're like, okay, like checking out his build. Like, wait a minute, like what? You know, what is he twitching in the corner? Like, wait, what the hell?
Is he tweaking? Is he tweaking?
I don't want that guy. Because you could get a legitimate guy who's like, all right, like I'm a police officer and I want to use something that like, you know,
Please help me. you
Yeah,
know,
well, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
It
like,
starts
okay,
thinking,
yeah,
I wanna
like,
learn.
I legitimately want to learn. But then you might get a guy that's fresh out of maximum security prison. He's like,
He's like trying to think.
Show me
his
what you
thumb
got.
In your eye.
yeah.
He grabs your nose. He's pulling it by the nostril. You're like, that's not a move.
Yeah. I've had.
He takes out that
Yeah.
spoon, the sharpened spoon.
Oh yeah.
He's got a shiv in his gi. Like, you know, yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but there's some crazy shit that has happened when you roll with white belts. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've had like crazy
yeah.
shit happen. I remember I rolled with a guy. I don't think it was at Villardo's. I think it was a combat club. It was a combat club, and he was a white belt. And they said he was newer.
Right.
But I remember when we were rolling, he was in my guard, and he grabbed my trachea. And I remember I grabbed his wrist. I was like, what the fuck in
Yeah, like,
hell?
what are
Like,
you doing?
I've never had anyone do that. You know what I mean? He was this big tatted up motherfucker, and he was like, at least 50 pounds bigger than me. And when he grabbed my trachea, like I automatically went to survival mode. I was like, what the shit?
no, this
And I was
ain't
like,
happening.
because he was digging his fingers in, and I was like, dude, no, like what are we doing here? Like, I was about to gouge his fucking eyes right out of his head. I was like, all right, we're doing this.
About to turn to a
Yeah.
prison fight.
I was like, we're doing this. We're doing this. I was like, all right.
I
Like,
think the biggest white belt move, and it's something that I did my first day. So I know that I was that asshole at first until somebody was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Is they grab the fingers,
Yeah.
right? And
yeah.
they go to pull your fingers like to break him. And I know like because that was like an
don't
army
do
move.
that. Please don't do that. Please.
That's something they teach you in the army. It's like grab that finger if they're grabbing you and choking you. So you're like, so I did that at first, and then the guy was very nice. He was like, "Hey, man, you can really fucking hurt me." And I'm like, sorry. And then I didn't do it again. But that seems to be the most typical move that I come across with white belts is grabbing
Finger
the
in the
fingers,
fingers.
the thumb especially, and they try to yank it out and
Yeah.
break it.
Done
on
that
you.
too.
You-
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's almost.
What else can I
a
do,
natural
man? I know
reaction.
nothing.
It works.
Yeah, exactly,
It works.
exactly.
It does. It is effective.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know my first day, I was the opposite of the guy that went in and got his ass kicked and left. I went in, I got my ass kicked thoroughly, sat in the car, no music.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, I,
remember
was
that
like,
day.
yeah,
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah. I still have those days.
I couldn't believe, like, I was like, I gotta come back. I have to learn. I felt so defenseless that I was like, I need to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
I need to be
exactly.
able to at least defend that or do what they're doing. And I knew it was gonna take time, and it did. And you learn over the years. And yes, I still have those days where I sit in the car. You know,
the last time I had a day like that was at Excel, and it was rolling with Bob. Dude, what the fuck is that guy made of? Hi, Bob. Like, Jesus. That dude's so strong.
yeah.
Like, I remember I locked in the Kimura, and I was trying to move his arm, and his arm wouldn't move. I was like, what the shit is this guy made of? And I'm pulling, like, so hard on it, and his arm's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm sitting there, and, like, I'm already messed up. Like, I have, like, a purple mark across my face from pressure from Bob. And I'm sitting there, and, like, no one wanted to roll with Bob for a second time. So I'm sitting there on the mat. He's sitting there on the mat, and he goes, Ian? And I was like, hi, Bob.
Oh,
So
yeah, like,
I went again. So I'm, like, sitting in my car. I'm, like, bleeding out of my nose. I'm like, fucking hell, Bob. Like, and I remember sitting there going, like, but what do you do? Like, there's no way, like, my mentality, like, how to beat him, I was like, just get stronger. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do. I
Bulk
was like,
up, Ian. Bulk up.
yeah. I've been doing steroids ever since.
Yeah, in a competition class, I remember one night, and professor was like, pair up, guys, fight standing. And I was like, Bob, let's go. He was like, no, change. We have a competition this week, okay?
Yeah. Is it no murders? No murders today. Yeah. But that's funny. Man.
Yeah, Bob's, he's just a really powerful human being.
Yeah.
I
You
was-
run
I was
into
really-
different intensities, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
It's very rare, though. Like, I mean, like, White Belt George, when he was there,
Yeah.
I was impressed
Yes.
with his power.
He was another guy.
It takes a lot for me to grab hold of you, and even rolling with Kamaru, like it's like you expect him to be strong.
Yeah.
like you're like, okay, it's a world champion, like he's got muscles that I'll never develop. But like Bob, when I grabbed hold of him, I was like, this is a different built human being.
Sure.
Like there's some power here that's freaking scary. Like,
Yeah.
There's some issues below the surface here. I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
we should have them on and talk to them. You know, like
Have you ever had somebody that was so much more stronger than you, but knew how to use that pressure? Where like, I felt it one time where I was like, they were in side control, but the amount of size and pressure from the side control, I felt like my body was gonna explode from the inside. I'm like, I'm gonna die here. I'm not gonna tap from this, but I'm like, I really could tap from this, and nobody should say shit to me.
because it's scary.
But it was and super nice guy. One of my favorite people to train with. He actually took me under his wing at Velardo's for a long time, and it was Doug.
Yeah,
Big
That
guy.
was a big dude.
And he was like a gentle giant. Like, he knew how to use his weight where, like, when you're rolling with him, like, he's absolutely letting you do things and
He
train
would
with
let you
him.
try everything.
But every now and again, I would see him, like, somebody be a dick to him, and, like, he would turn up. I was like, oh, you fucked up.
'Cause he's about to park.
Doug is about to work that ass.
He's about to park a bus on you.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Oh, yeah,
heavy.
because when he wanted to, he could turn that weight and size into this perfect weapon where, like, just transitioning from one move to another, like the squeeze and the pressure. That's what's fantastic about jiu-jitsu. Even a guy like my size, I know how to use my pressure and my weight to manipulate to get into other moves. So when you see a guy that size,
And
do
that's
it,
that strength level is also dangerous when you're a white belt coming in because you don't know how to use it. Like, and if you apply that towards something, you can seriously hurt somebody.
I think that's what makes so many people get injured when rolling with white belts. You have someone who is untrained,
Right?
doesn't know how to modulate their strength, and doesn't know what they're doing and in what positions they can hurt somebody if they're going too hard.
Sure.
You know, because there's maneuvers you could do where it's more about finesse.
Yeah.
But if you go hard with it, yeah, you'll get it to work. But if that other person doesn't react the right way, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah. I stopped going for Kimuras on white belt George because, I mean,
it's futile.
you'd go for it, and he would just crunch his body in like this, and your arm's caught in there.
He was
So I'm
like-
like, oh shit! I would just pull my arm. I'd be like, I ain't doing that again. It hurts.
He was like, if I flex, that's the escape.
Okay. I was like, what the hell? Like, I was like, it felt like I stuck my arm in a machine.
Yeah.
Like a factory machine. I was like, all right, I ain't doing that again. That's stupid.
Yeah, I could see, like, after somebody would roll with him, like, you could watch people in the gym, like, when you're picking partners, and, like, George would, like, look across the room for somebody to train with. People, like, looking up, they're looking left, like, oh, look at the time. Hey, John, you want to show me that move real quick? You know, like, run over to that corner and shit.
That's me against Red because I would never want to try to break his grips and stuff. Like, get off me! Like, it's
But we,
you know, it's gonna be miserable.
we should say we do love white belts. We need them.
For
You
sure,
know, and
for
we were
sure.
all there. So even
yeah.
though we're
Yeah.
saying these things about white belts, we all suffered that same progression level, and it's just a part of the sport, you know. And it's something that, as an experienced practitioner, you can now laugh at and look at and be like, all right, you know,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, dude? Get your fucking big toe out of my nose, you know. Does not belong there.
Oh, and that guy. If you do jiu-jitsu, trim your freaking nails.
Oh yeah.
Please trim your nails. Like, you don't have to go get a pedicure.
I have marks, you know.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
there's guys out there that can cut your throat with their toenails. It's like, good lord, like, yeah. You know, they go for like a berimbolo and they just cut your throat. You're it's dead. You know, like, so, yeah. Please, hygiene, for the love of God.
So let's think about this. Like, your favorite story from jiu-jitsu. I got one. I'll start to give you guys some times, but like a story that happened to me was my first competition I went to. Everything went wrong this competition day. We went, the air conditioning in the building didn't work. You were
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was supposed to be like one of the first people on the floor to go and fight. So I didn't eat anything. I had to cut some weight. I get there, and I think we were outside like 3 or 4 hours. The place was about to close. Everybody's making plans to go to Miami and hang out.
Dan
The whole
was
academy
sleeping on
is
the
there.
grass.
People are sleeping, right? Then they're like, no, the competition is going to start. It's like 12 o'clock. Didn't eat anything all day, right? Get there and finally go to weigh-in because I didn't eat anything. It's like 2 o'clock now at this point. And I was like 7 pounds underweight because like I'm worried that I'm not gonna make the weight, and like I'm just must be sweating and just dying. So anyway, no excuse there. You know, I get on there. I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm thinking adrenaline. I'm looking around, at the stable, and I'm like, all right, my first competition, my first match, anybody but this guy. This guy's got like 13 patches. He looks like a murderer. He's got scars, everything. And they call his name. And I'm like, man, sucker that has to fight this guy. And then mine. I'm like, fuck. There's an old guy right there. Can I fight him? He's like, what the fuck? I get on the mat. Everything went, it was crazy. It was a dope experience. Like, I couldn't hear the crowd. Like, I was so focused on the situation. Yep. Adrenaline.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, I fight right-handed. All the moves I was doing was like left-hand attacks. What the fuck happened with my brain? I'm going in there. I gave it my best. I went for takedown attempts. I went for submission attempts. I lost. The guy beat me better man that day. And go off to the bleachers. George was there. Jay-Z was there. I think Pedro. And Professor looks at me. He goes, so how was your first competition? I said, well, went like shit. We all laughed. He's like, so what's your takeaway? I said, well, I just got to go back to the gym and get better. I got to work harder, train harder, But that moment when your professor's looking at you, he's asking me a serious question, and all I could think was, well, I did like shit. Yeah. But it was a cool moment. It was a cool experience, and but that's probably my favorite competition or just jiu-jitsu stories, because it had all the highs and lows of the adrenaline is pumping, you're ready to go, and then it gets dumped, and then up again, and then you get in there, you get to experience it, and it was something new, and I really liked it. So who's next? Who wants to share a nice jiu-jitsu story?
A nice jiu-jitsu story.
Here, I got a great one.
Oh shit!
No, my first day in class, Nelson is teaching me something. He's teaching me how to do the back roll. And amazingly,
let it go.
Amazingly, he forgets the important thing of the back roll of tuck your chin.
Oh, shit.
And just tells me to fall back and break my fall. I proceed to fall back and break my fall with the back of my head.
Brotherly love. What can I say?
What the fuck?
He slammed his head hard.
I spent the first 2 weeks of jiu-jitsu with my neck just not able to turn because it just snapped when I hit the ground. Went whoop.
Bro, it's a welcome to jiu-jitsu, right? Come on. I mean, that's brotherly love.
That was with purpose.
And they're like, oh,
you know that.
He didn't tell you for a reason.
Oh yeah, tuck your chin. Oh, really? I wish you would have said that
After 2 days.
first.
By the way, you have to turn your head.
Yeah.
Man, tuck your head, because otherwise you're gonna slam your.
I just wanted him to fall. I'm like, just fall back.
Fall back, you'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
Day one.
Now you know how it feels not to do it the right way.
He did it like an Albanian dad. It hurts, yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happened when you don't listen right.
Yeah, you're teaching your kid to swim at
Remember
just throw him in
it.
the pool.
Kevin Hart's dad threw him in the pool. You better not fucking drown.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know how
You'll be
not
all
to drown. How do I not drown?
All right, Enea, what about you? Good
And I have
jiu-jitsu
so
story.
many stories,
anyone you like.
especially in competition. Couple times, in 2020, we traveled a lot, even if when it was Corona. Actually, we traveled so much.
I know. I thought you guys were maniacs. I'm like, yo, they're straight.
We were like addicts. Me, Andy, and Kevin. Three of us especially, because every time someone was, joining us, but the three of us, we were always in
Always
competition.
going to every competition. Yeah. You guys did all of them too. You went to Austin. You guys went
All of
everywhere.
them.
Yeah.
All of them. That year we did.
Did you do Chicago? Or
They canceled Chicago that year.
I was
And
gonna
New
say.
York.
the New York Open was always a big one for us because we were from PA.
I never
Yeah,
did
New York Open's good.
Yeah.
Matt Serra's always there. Loudest coach in the world. Loudest coach on earth.
He seems like a fun guy to hang out with.
He's loud.
Yeah. All New Yorkers.
Get your knee across. Matt's there somewhere.
So you guys were traveling.
And I was responsible for flying, getting the flight
Itinerary?
tickets
Yeah.
and the hotels.
Oh, so you were organizing everything. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck,
I
that's
thought
fucked
so.
up. That's fucked up. Come on, Kevin. Come on. What you guys doing, Andy?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Kind of a break.
Kevin, at least Kevin, he was helping me around, hey bro, this is a good flight, or oh, this is a good hotel.
Right.
But Andy was like, you got this, bro, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, good, all right.
Playing my Nintendo.
Shout out to Andy, by the way, who won his fight to win. Congratulations,
man.
Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations,
That
brother.
flying triangle.
That
Nice.
good stuff, Andy. Good stuff.
He's a beast. He's
He is.
a good dude
is.
too. Yeah.
and I was picking the Airbnbs, and man, you see the pictures. I don't know how they do this, man.
They make it
I don't know.
look good.
It's like a
Yeah.
fucking Playboy mansion. You know, you're like, woo, this is cool, and you go there, man. We end up there, you know, like 2 a.m. because of the flight. Barely we find out the code,
Right.
and we open, and he was saying that accommodation for 4 people. It was
One bed and a sofa bed. They'll say 4 people.
Probably like 3
literally,
stools.
I swear. I swear to God, it was a couch, and upstairs it was like not even a queen.
A full-size bed.
Yeah, a full-size bed.
Damn. Head to toe, bro. Head to toe.
And
We sleeping head to toe.
You know how it works when you wanna, you know, when you are like 3 people and you're gonna drive, the biggest person stays up front.
Yeah.
Right.
The table changed. You know? It was like the smallest people, like everybody shrinked. You know, like, and Kevin was like, "Hey, we're gonna sleep up," you know, and I'm like, "Okay," I sleep on the couch. So far, so good. And we were looking. It was cold. It was, I think, Oklahoma,
Right.
I guess.
Where the wind blows.
And we were looking for, you know, blankets and stuff.
No blankets?
No fucking pillow.
Oh,
Not even a pillow.
Not even a
I,
fucking.
Damn.
I swear to God, it was nothing.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Jesus.
And I
And-
thought, go ahead.
And I slept, and I went back to the car, and I got, you know, like my gi.
Yeah. That's a nice blanket.
I rolled my pants as a pillow and my top.
As a
as
jacket.
a blanket,
Oh, shit, man.
Jesus,
It was
that's
horrible.
Horrible.
We one time, we rented an Airbnb that supposedly had a game room.
Oh,
The
yeah.
one we went to in Orlando. No, the rest of the house was beautiful. But the game room, the pictures made it seem like this is a fucking full-fledged arcade. It was in the garage. We opened the door. It's like this big. It's like 2 foot by 2 foot. I was like, where the fuck did these other pictures come from?
What
But-
happened to the games that was on the game
yeah.
room?
It was
It
like
was a monopoly over there.
exactly what it was. Half of a Monopoly. The whole game wasn't even there. A basketball court. You know those little ones that you shoot the basketball into? No basketballs, just the basketball rim there. The pool was outside, but it wasn't clean. Like we all looked at the pool collectively and said, we'll get salmonella if we jump in that water. We will die.
Hazy and covered in dead bugs.
Like this is the shit that the Joker was made from when he jumped in that vat of toxic waste.
Oh, and then they conveniently left out the fact that 5 feet behind the pool was a canal with alligators.
There are just signs that say alligators, alligators, alligators. We're like, nobody go outside. Nobody. This is Florida, but I've never seen that many alligator
Alligator
signs in a row to warn you. Somebody has died here. That's what happened. All right, Ian, what about you? What kind of a jiu-jitsu
Mine
story?
is just it's a lesson that I learned, and it was a close call that I've avoided, and I have changed my regiment since.
Nice.
I no longer have coffee right before jiu-jitsu. Not right before jiu-jitsu.
I know where this is going.
I just don't do it anymore. I used to, when I would go to Excel, I would come right from the medical clinic. I'd come right from work. I'd show up in my scrubs. I'd change, and then I'd go on the mat. Well, I'm at work, and I'm answering voicemails and talking to patients and stuff, so I start to get tired later in the day, so I would wolf down my second or third cup of coffee. Within half an hour, I'm already in the car on the way to jiu-jitsu. I'm there. So I would have coffee like literally 20, 30 minutes before I was on the mat. Well, you know, when it's your second, third cup of the day, and you just, you know, so I would just be like, all right, I'm fucking late for class. I change, you know, I go out there. Well, I'm rolling with someone. I won't name them. But anyway, like we're rolling, and I go for a lapel grip, pull it down, lock in a triangle, and I'm fucking squeezing. Well, then the gurgles start. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know. But I got this triangle locked in, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, you know, and he's fighting and rolling. I got his sleeve, and I'm trying to hold the back of his head. But dude, like the pressure starts building. I was faced with the realization. I was like, you might get the tap.
Not from the choke.
I was like, but you are legitimately 5 seconds from shitting in this guy's face. I was like, and you need to understand that. Like, you need to understand that when you do this, your gi is fucked. Like, you have to go home. You are inverted. Gravity is going to cause it to go this way.
There is shame associated with this maneuver.
Legitimately, I'm pulling
You
full
have to
force.
move.
I'm pulling full force. I can see his hands start to go like this, like he's about to tap, and I fucking tapped. I was like, and I stopped, And he's looking at me. His eyes are flushed. His face is red. And he's going, and I'm like, I'll be back. And I got up and I started running to the bathroom. Like, really turned, bowed real quick. And I'm running to the bathroom. And he starts going like this. He's looking around going, what the fuck? Because I had a full triangle lock.
You did him a favor.
Fully locked. He did not understand how close to life altering
Traumatizing. Like, he would have quit jujitsu that day. Like, what am I doing?
It's
what am I
bad
doing?
juju. It's bad juju to fart if you have someone in a triangle. To shit while you have a man. That's prison. That's 5 years in prison. That's 5 years in state penitentiary.
Yeah,
But I've never even heard of that. But I literally was not prepared to do it. I was like, nope, no. I was like, I will take this loss. I don't know. I'm not doing this.
But farting in jiu-jitsu, you know, like
Or normal.
normal, you know, like you hear one in there, you know,
Yeah,
once.
yeah.
But it was a guy, you know, like I'm not gonna mention it.
Yeah, of course.
Once again.
Save that person's name.
Yeah. Hopefully not the same guy that I.
No, I don't think so.
He's
And-
not sitting over there wearing a hat.
No, it's not.
Don't even try to pull that bullshit. Nope.
No.
His name is not Edward.
Fuck you.
Bad gas, go ahead.
And this dude, he farted once, you know, it was like, you know,
Alright, it's
everybody
okay.
smiled,
It
you know,
happens
like,
every now and
okay.
again.
And he farted again,
Oh shit.
and he farted again.
Oh no! Wait.
And after he was like normal, like, you know,
Oh, now he's making fun with
and
it.
he went until, you know, like the professor, you know, like, hey, stop it. You know? It was too fun. Like, if it was, you know, like if I was me, I was going to move the country.
Yeah, man. That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
man.
but
you gotta be able to control it to a certain
Yeah,
point.
and when they're taking fun with it, then you know, like, oh, this is a problem because this
Yeah.
motherfucker thinks it's funny to do this.
Yeah,
They're
well,
gonna keep doing it.
It's normal when you're in a scramble and you're exerting all
Right.
that force. You might toot a little bit, you know what I mean? But there's areas where it's less. Like you got a guy fully mounted.
Yeah.
Don't shit on him.
Yeah, man.
And if you do, get off and apologize. Like, come on, you know.
It's etiquette.
But if you got some dude locked in a triangle, and you don't lock him in the gas chamber. You don't do that. You don't fucking do that. You don't do that. It's just not something you do. You know, if you're sitting on a guy's head and you're going for a Kimura lock and you fart, let go and get up.
Come on,
But,
bro.
you know,
Have mercy.
I promise I will not seal you in a tomb of doom if that ever happens. I won't. But I was not prepared to do this to this guy. I was not prepared to shit in his face and keep him trapped in it. I was like, no. I was like, I will take the L and I'm gonna go to the bathroom and take care of it. That ain't happening. So ever since then, I have not had coffee. Not even if I even trained that day.
Neither Chipotle, bro.
Oh, hell no.
No, you can't do that.
you don't-
If you eat Taco Bell and then go to jiu-jitsu, you're a fucking monster.
Don't go trying new restaurants, new recipes,
Yes.
new none of that shit before class.
Respect your partner.
That's something I
Yes.
learned from powerlifting, which is again you exert a lot of force. You're like, no, you don't go trying new shit and then try to hit a PR.
Yeah. You
No,
don't eat the
that's a bad day.
You
That's
don't
a
eat,
bad day.
You don't eat 3 Doritos Locos tacos and then go deadlift. You don't do it. You just don't do it. It's not a good idea.
Let me write this down. Three's the limit. So 2. I can eat 2 Doritos.
2 you might be at. But as soon as you go over 3, you're gonna get the turkey squirts. You're gonna get them.
Yeah, that's messed up. Man.
Oh shit. So that was mine. It was close, and I was like, I'm not prepared to live with myself if I do this to another human being. I'm not doing this.
Okay, all right,
Not
all
doing
right. So to wrap it up, guys, right? We're gonna jump into the final category here. Now we all know there's the different personality types in the Jiu-Jitsu Academy.
Very
you know, like you got
diverse.
your Spartans. You've got your guy that stops you when you're just about to submit him.
Explains you
And
how
then
to finish.
explain to you
Let
what you
me
need to do to
explain
finish
this to
it. Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I won't take them all the way.
Usually a higher belt.
Right?
Usually
Yes.
a higher belt.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He knows that's his way out.
So
Wait.
Yeah. So my guy.
No.
My guy, and I faced him in the gym. I faced him in the gym several times, and I was still very nice, very cordial. Still won't say any names, but he was the go light guy. He's the guy that looks you in the face with all sincerity and said, "Hey, I'm having a bad day, or I'm hurting." And we've all had those days. And you look at your partner and you expect courtesy. And 99.9% of the times, everybody's very respectful and like, "Hey, man, I got a bad shoulder. Heard it the other day. We'll be cool. Let's roll. Go hard, but try to be cool with it." And people will respect that. We're all trying to get
They
a
should.
good exercise.
Yeah.
But when that motherfucker looks you in the face like, "Hey, let's go light. I'm a little hurt today. I'm a little tired from work." Yeah. And then they come at you with everything they got. They even go back to their car, pull out a fucking 10-pound weight, come back, hit you with it first, kick you in the fucking gut, and then like, "All right, let's start." You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, why be that guy? And then they go at you hard. I don't want to say
the go light guy.
Yeah, the go light guy. So the go light guy is my least favorite person in the gym. And then like when you start ignoring them, right? Like they'll be like, hey, I'm like, nah. And then you just train with somebody next to them. Like that's kind of like a, hey, you're a dick. Learn your lesson. You know what I mean? Like in a very polite way. And then, hey, how come you don't want to train with me? I'm a little tired today. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go, and then you go ham with that guy. Yeah, you suck. I'm going over here. Go like guy. That's mine. Ian?
Mine's gonna be definitely the beta male. The beta male wannabe alpha. That's my least favorite guy, and it doesn't usually happen to me.
Right.
It's you know who it is, and we can all picture a guy in our fucking head. It's usually a higher belt, probably anywhere in between blue and brown. Usually, because usually by black, they usually don't make it to black, or by the time they get to black, this is weeded out of them.
Right.
They're usually in between purple and brown, and what they do is they target smaller belts, smaller people or inexperienced people, and they either try out their new techniques on them,
yes,
or they just beat the shit out of them. And they don't distinguish. They'll do it to a female. They'll do it to a new student. They'll do it to a handicapped student. They don't give a shit. Like, you'll look over and you'll see a 3-stripe purple belt, and you know who he is. He's probably middle-aged. Might wear glasses.
Hey,
I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm just saying he might wear glasses. I
I'm
don't
not
fucking know.
middle aged yet.
I'm not saying, you know.
And I
he
don't target women, just white belts.
But you'll see, though, he usually doesn't go to the competition classes, and if he goes with a white belt, or he'll go with whoever, and you'll see him like moving with the white belt, but then all of a sudden he goes for like an omoplata, and he turns into a wrist lock, or you'll see him like he'll take the person's back, and then he'll like roll into a knee buster, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? You know.
And then they get up and they're like, woo! You know, like Ric Flair and shit, like, got him.
Or they're like
6 times.
Or they're putting a clinic on. Like it's the guy's 3rd day or whatever, and they beat him 6 times.
Right.
Yeah, they're looking to
like,
tap
what
somebody
are you doing?
as many times. It's one thing
But then when you call them out, when you're like, oh, hey man, how about we roll? They're like, you know, because they don't want they can't, you know,
Right.
They don't want to reciprocate the ego melding. They don't want to do that.
So we got beta male.
Beta male is definitely
Go light guy.
Yeah.
Enea, it's up to you.
Who's your least
I was
favorite?
thinking about it.
All right. So we'll come back to Enea. We'll go to Eddie.
Mine is always the favorite. The guy that comes in. They got my mentality. I don't give my mentality.
Oh, the blackout guy.
Like, I can't.
I black out.
I see red. I see red, man.
Those motherfuckers never show up for day 2.
No, they don't.
Never
They
show
don't.
up for day 2 because
They're usually big as shit too.
yeah,
Usually a
they
gigantic
go
guy.
way too hard, way too quick. They don't want to listen to any suggestions that you're giving about anything. So then eventually you're like, all right, if that's the way you want to go, well then fuck it. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to go full strength too.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see what kind of a day you're having when I stop taking it easy on you because you're being a dick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most people are like 4,000% less effective in a real fight than they think. They They watch a lot of Steven Seagal movies.
It's true. Right? Even all of us, right? Because look, how many times do you watch a video and you're like, I'm gonna pull that shit off tomorrow, and you go to the gym and you're like, all right.
And as soon as you grab a hold of a real person, you're like, what the
You're like,
what
this
is
shit ain't gonna work. But there was one time, I will say this, it was fucking hilarious. I told Professor, I showed him the video. I was like, man, but the person you do this to basically has to sit there and give you their arm. And I'm training with this guy. I stood up and he was sitting down and the arm came at me. And I was like, is this about to happen? Professor looks at me from across the room and he's like, do it. And I dropped, it was like a standing, he was sitting and I dropped the triangle where I turned around, sat into position and grabbed this triangle from this standing position. And I didn't boast about it. I didn't I was, hey, thank you, good training. But deep down inside, I wanted to be like, I'm number one. I did it, you know? And Professor saw it. That's the best, because usually when Professor sees me, I'm dying in a corner somewhere with a knee on my fucking throat.
So we got Go Light Guy. We got Beta Male. We got Mental Warrior.
Yes.
Yep.
And the what if guy.
Yeah, the what if guy.
What if?
Yes.
Professor is being, super clear for what he's showing.
Yes.
It's A, B, C.
Real simple.
Yes.
Easy to pick
Real
up.
simple.
Yes.
Everyone else got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go here, go there, done.
Like,
Yep.
Hands in the air.
And you know, Professor, he takes out the vision from the and he's like, everybody got that?
Yeah.
And he's being forced, like, hey, I have a question.
Yep. God.
Yep.
What if the guy, pull the arm more,
Yeah.
And if Professor is in a good mood, he's going to find a way. But if he's not, he's going to be just do the position. Okay?
But what if he pulls out a machete? Well, then you're in the wrong fucking fight. Get out.
Yeah. What are you
Get
doing in Nicaragua? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing
Why are you
jiu-jitsu
fighting
in
guys with
Nicaragua?
machetes? Yeah.
With a gi in the fucking jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to the embassy. Get the fuck
man.
out of there.
Who told you to start shit with the cartel?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on here?
But the best one is when they know something, and they want to say it,
Yeah.
What if I throw them on plata from there,
Yeah,
Bro,
all
I'm
right,
teaching you an armbar.
Yeah.
Why are you throwing them on
They're always
plata?
trying to turn it into something else that they're good at. Yeah. Could you do a Kimura from there?
That's fucking great. All right,
What
well,
if guy?
I
Yeah,
think
those
that
are all
was
very
a
good.
really nice episode of Jiu-Jitsu related topics, and we want to thank you, Enea.
Thank you guys for having me
for
here.
Yeah,
stopping
always a
by,
pleasure.
man.
Always a
You're
pleasure.
welcome back anytime, and we're gonna open up that gym next time you come. We'll do a nice little session and
sure.
get some training going. You know. So Ed, cue the music. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast. You can find us on all your local social media platforms at
Sofa Kingdom OFC.
And you can catch us in 4K on YouTube at
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Take it away.
Like, subscribe, share with your friends. It makes a difference. Also, don't forget to check out Enea on Instagram. Also, his BJJ comedy page.
Yeah.
Funny shit on there.
Boss.
Oh, how can we end an episode without almost saying, oh,
No, we can't.
Come on, guys.
yeah, man, that's the jiu-jitsu everything.
We almost
Oh,
made it. We almost made it through.
Yeah. That was good times, gentlemen. I appreciate it, man, for real. Thank you
you
for
guys.
coming by, man.
Thanks for coming out.
And now I get to go back and watch some more Cobra Kai. My main man, Johnny Lawrence. You know that started because of YouTube videos, right? People were saying how the other guy,
Ralph
Macchio, was the villain, and
Yep.
it started this whole thing going into Cobra Kai.
It's funny how that works out.
Who's Ralph Macchio, actually?
Ralph Macchio is
The actor that
Karate
plays
Kid.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Daniel San?
Daniel-san.
How are we looking? There's not like a cord dangling.
Make sure you can hear yourself.
Hello?
Routing the cords over his head.
Is it me you're looking for?
You going?
Like this.
Because otherwise you're undoing the...
Yeah.
Oh man.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Eddie, save that one for a clip.
Are we recording now?
Oh, yeah. We're always recording.
I've known to be very careful with what I do because they turn into a fucking
Don't worry.
clip.
We're very careful.
Yeah.
As soon as I do something stupid, like it just boom.
Eddie's very good at editing out anything that we say that may be too stupid.
Yes.
He's checking again.
He's like, no, we can't say that.
I actually try to make it a goal to say something that gets cut from the show.